Step into an appliance showroom today and the sparkle is blinding. Rows of chrome refrigerators, smart ovens, washers boasting lifetime performance, all screaming reliability in bold letters. But here is the catch. Beneath the marketing shine, some of these top brands are quietly selling you breakdowns, warranty headaches, and repair bills that dwarf any savings. When experts warn that buying the wrong name can drain thousands from your bank account and leave you stranded, it is not just hype. In top 12 appliance brands you must avoid. At all costs, we are tearing the lid off the companies that promise everything and deliver disappointment, often much sooner than you think. The question is, which household names are on the chopping block, and how much could sticking with the wrong brand really cost you? Let us pull back the curtain and start the countdown. Number 12. Frigidaire. Once a symbol of reliability, now a cautionary tale. For decades, Frigidaire refrigerators were a fixture in American kitchens, dependable, affordable, and built with a reputation that seemed unshakable. But by 2025, that trust has evaporated, undone by a single decision buried in the company's recent history. In 2019, Frigidaire executives approved a switch to the V-Series compressor, a move pitched internally as a way to trim costs and boost margins. The change was quiet, almost invisible to consumers. But inside service centers, the impact was immediate and unmistakable. Complaint rates jumped 38% within months of the rollout, a surge that sent ripples through repair shops nationwide. Leaked internal emails later revealed what technicians suspected all along. The V-Series compressor was failing at rates far beyond industry norms. These weren't isolated incidents or the occasional defective unit. Owners described refrigerators breaking down after just a few months, compressors that seized without warning, ice makers that froze solid, control boards that flickered and died. One owner's story captures the frustration. First compressor failed before the holidays. Replacement lasted 6 months. Service said, "It's common now, just buy extended coverage." The problems didn't end with the machines themselves. Frigidaire's warranty, once considered a selling point, became a source of anger and confusion. On the surface, it promised protection, but the fine print told a different story. Compressor and control board failures, the very issues plaguing the V-Series, were often excluded from coverage. Homeowners found themselves paying out of pocket for repairs, then waiting anxiously to see if the next breakdown was just around the corner. Service call data from 2020 through 2024 paints a stark picture. Frigidaire refrigerators failed more frequently and at earlier ages than almost any other major brand, leaving families scrambling to salvage groceries and rearrange busy schedules for repair appointments. The decision to prioritize cost over quality didn't just save a few dollars on the assembly line, it unraveled decades of consumer trust, leaving thousands of families with unreliable appliances and mounting bills. For many, the promise of a bargain turned out to be a costly illusion. As one owner put it, "You think you're saving money, but you're just buying headaches." Number 11. Amana. Budget-friendly until it isn't. Amana's pitch is simple. The affordable alternative in Whirlpool's lineup, a safe bet for anyone trying to stretch a dollar. But the real story starts in the factory, not the showroom. In 2022, engineer Maria Delgado walked away from her job at Whirlpool after refusing to sign off on a new batch of Amana washer components. She'd spent years testing parts, running cycles, and flagging failures. This time, she says, the numbers didn't lie. Cheaper plastics, thinner wiring, and a transmission design that barely passed minimum standards, they all made it into production. Maria's whistleblower complaint landed on the FTC's desk that spring, and by fall, the agency confirmed Amana's electronics and materials had been quietly downgraded after 2021. The fallout hit homes almost immediately. Service pros started seeing a spike in washer and fridge failures, motors that seized, control panels that blinked out, and machines that rattled themselves apart in under a year. Amana's energy ratings also slipped, leaving owners with higher bills and no easy fix. One owner summed up the experience. "Bought it as a quick fix for the laundry room. 9 months later, it wouldn't spin. Warranty denied. Said I installed it wrong. Now it's in the garage, just in case." The pattern kept repeating. Warranty claims got tricky. Amana's fine print excludes most electronic failures after the first year, and service calls often end with a bill instead of a repair. Parts are usually available, but the cost of labor and repeat breakdowns quickly add up. For many, the only thing budget about Amana is the sticker price. Everything else costs more in the long run. Maria Delgado's story is a warning. When a brand cuts corners behind closed doors, those savings show up as headaches for families. Amana might seem like a deal, but unless you're buying for a rental or backup, it's a gamble most homeowners regret. Bottom line, Amana works in the garage, not in the heart of your home. Number 10. Samsung. The Ice Maker Saga. Samsung rules the world of TVs and smartphones, but when it comes to kitchen appliances, things get messy, fast. Their refrigerators look like they belong on a spaceship. French doors, touchscreens, Wi-Fi, even cameras inside to check your groceries from work. But behind all that flash, Samsung fridges have earned a reputation for one thing: ice makers that break down so often, they've inspired their own online support groups. In 2024, the complaints hit a boiling point. Thousands of owners joined Facebook groups and Reddit threads, swapping tips about thawing frozen ice bins, fighting leaks, and trying every reset trick in the book. For many, the only thing colder than the fridge was Samsung's customer service. One owner joked, "This ice maker deserves its own sitcom. It's always broken." It didn't stop at memes. Frustration turned into a federal class action lawsuit. Case number 4:21-CV-00976. Owners told their stories in court. Ice makers that jammed and overflowed, ruined groceries, months of waiting for repairs that never fixed the problem. The court's 2024 settlement forced Samsung to extend repair grace periods and offer partial refunds for select models. But for most, the damage was already done. Spoiled food, wasted money, and a fridge that still couldn't deliver a single ice cube when it mattered. And it's not just the ice makers. Samsung's smart features sound impressive, but they bring their own headaches. Software updates can lock out repairs, leaving owners stuck until an official tech arrives, sometimes after weeks of waiting. Replacement parts are hard to find, especially for anything tied to the smart system. Independent repair shops? Forget it. Samsung's over-the-air diagnostic locks and parts pairing mean you're at the mercy of their authorized service network, which can be thin on the ground outside big cities. The result? A new kind of owner activism. Facebook groups with tens of thousands of members, class action lawyers on speed dial, and a growing sense that buying a Samsung fridge is less about keeping food cold and more about surviving the next breakdown. Bottom line, if you want reliability and easy fixes, Samsung is not your friend. All the smart features in the world can't make up for a fridge that leaves you high and dry, especially when the ice runs out. Number 9. LG. Smart tech, dumb reliability. LG loves to sell the dream: sleek French doors, Wi-Fi fridges, and washers that promise to save the planet and your wallet. But behind all that shine, LG spent years gaming the system. Here's how it worked. For over a decade, LG refrigerators were tested under a government energy loophole. During official efficiency tests, LG would switch their appliances into a special mode. Ice makers off, energy-guzzling features silenced. On paper, these fridges looked like champions. In real kitchens, not so much. The loophole let LG slap impressive Energy Star labels on models that, once plugged in at home, used far more power than advertised. The Department of Energy finally shut it down in early 2023, after a long fight with appliance giants. LG's lobbyists spent years pushing back, filing comments and meeting with officials to keep the old rules alive. Consumer groups called it regulatory hide-and-seek. DOE officials saw it as a classic case of a brand working the angles, not working for the customer. But the games didn't stop at the test lab. LG's control boards, those little brains inside every fridge and washer, became a magnet for complaints. Technicians call them black boxes of pain. When they fail, the whole machine can turn into a brick. Service pros report that repairs are slow, expensive, and sometimes blocked by software locks that only LG-authorized techs can bypass. If you live outside a major city, getting a certified LG technician can mean waiting weeks. Parts delays stretch even longer. 3 to 4 weeks for a main board isn't uncommon, and some owners have waited months. LG's own numbers claim a first-year service rate of 8.4% for refrigerators in 2025, based on Yale Appliance's annual report. The company waves this around as proof of improvement. But ask independent repair shops and you'll get a different story. 6 out of 7 surveyed techs still rank LG among the least reliable, especially for anything with a touchscreen or smart features. They see the same patterns: control boards that die early, compressors that click and clack, and warranty claims that get tangled in fine print. One owner summed it up after a $2,000 fridge started making strange noises. "The tech told us, it's a known LG thing, just unplug and wait." Didn't help? Bottom line, LG looks like a premium brand, but the shortcuts run deep, from the test lab to the circuit board. The loophole may be closed, but the legacy of unreliable guts and regulatory gamesmanship lingers. If you want true peace of mind, keep shopping. Number 8. GE Appliances. The name you trust. Maybe you shouldn't. For generations, GE stood as the backbone of American kitchens, a brand passed down like a family recipe promising steady performance and peace of mind. But in 2016, that legacy took a sharp detour. Haier, a Chinese conglomerate, bought GE's appliance division in a deal worth $5.4 billion. The new owners promised to honor the brand's heritage, but what filtered down to store shelves was a very different story. Longtime GE fans started noticing the cracks, literally. Shelves that once felt solid now snap under the weight of a few juice cartons. Interior plastics crumble, drawers stick, and door bins warp after a single summer's use. It's not just cosmetic either. Leaks from faulty seals and water lines are a common headache, especially in mid-tier and budget models. Repair techs call it the shelf lottery. Will your new fridge survive the year, or will you be calling for a replacement bin before the warranty even runs out? Service support used to be GE's ace in the hole. The company still boasts one of the biggest technician networks in the country, but even that can't keep up with the rising tide of complaints. In 2024, average wait times for an in-home repair stretched to 5 days in major cities and up to a week in rural areas. Owners report being bounced between call centers, with parts on backorder and no clear timeline for a fix. One customer summed up the new reality. "The fridge looked great at first, but the ice bin broke, the door wouldn't seal, and I needed 2 service calls, all inside 12 months. I guess I bought the idea of reliability, not the real thing." Repair pros echo the frustration. They say GE trades on decades of goodwill, but the guts of the machines just aren't what they used to be. Budget models, in particular, seem to cut corners where it hurts most, sacrificing durability for a lower price tag. The result? More time spent waiting for repairs, more money spent on replacement parts, and a growing sense that the old GE is gone for good. Bottom line, the badge on the door still means something to your parents. But if you're shopping for a fridge or washer in 2025, don't let nostalgia do the buying. For all the talk of American tradition, today's GE is a gamble, especially if you're hoping for the kind of reliability the brand once guaranteed. Number 7. Whirlpool. The middle child with mood swings. Walk into any big box store and you'll spot Whirlpool appliances stacked wall to wall. Dishwashers, washers, fridges, all promising familiar American reliability. But here's the catch. Buying Whirlpool in 2025 is a game of appliance roulette. You might get a workhorse that runs for years, or you could end up with a lemon that spends more time waiting for parts than actually working. The real story starts after 2022, when Whirlpool quietly shifted production standards across several models. Miele Appliance's 2025 service data shows a clear pattern. Some Whirlpool dishwashers and top-load washers now land near the top of repair call lists, while others barely see a tech. It's not just one bad batch. Owners report everything from leaky pump housings to touch panels that glitch out months after installation. The difference? Sometimes it's as random as which plant built your machine. Take the case of a family in Ohio. Their brand new Whirlpool dishwasher broke down 3 times in 11 months. First it was the drain pump, then the heating element, then a control board that fizzled out during Thanksgiving dinner. Each fix came with a fresh round of phone calls, parts delays, and a technician who finally admitted, "Sometimes you just get a bad run." The kicker? Their neighbor bought the same model, same store, and hasn't had a single problem. Whirlpool's sprawling empire only adds to the confusion. They own Amana, Maytag, KitchenAid, brands that show up all over this list, each with their own quirks. That means the same assembly line might be cranking out a budget Amana washer at noon and a premium KitchenAid at 3. The quality swings are real, and so are the headaches. Service pros are split. Some praise Whirlpool's parts availability and quick technician response. Urban areas especially see fast turnarounds. Others warn that the company's push for efficiency has led to thinner plastics, cheaper pumps, and more electronics that fail just outside warranty windows. The result? A brand that's still competitive, but no longer a safe bet for trouble-free ownership. Bottom line, with Whirlpool, you're rolling the dice. You might get a reliable workhorse, or you might get a moody machine that chews through parts and patience. For buyers in 2025, the badge isn't enough. Ask about the specific model, check the serial, and brace for a little unpredictability. Number 6. Bosch. The premium gamble. Bosch built its reputation on German engineering, whisper-quiet dishwashers, and a promise that spending more means worrying less. But in 2023, that promise went up in smoke, literally. Late one June afternoon in Austin, Julia Nguyen stepped into her kitchen to find the smell of burning plastic and a haze rising from her Bosch dishwasher. The culprit? An overheated control panel, the same defect that would trigger a nationwide recall just months later. The official recall, CPSC number 23-112, named over 170,000 dishwashers built between 2019 and 2023, including Bosch's 500, 800, and Benchmark series. The hazard wasn't just theoretical. More than 20 overheating incidents were logged, with at least 4 confirmed fires. In Julia's case, the fire department traced $14,000 in damage to the smoldering control board. Her insurance covered the cabinets, but not the weeks of takeout or the cost of replacing a premium machine she'd bought for peace of mind. Bosch responded with the right words: safety first, free repairs, extended coverage for affected models. But for owners, the reality was slower and far more expensive. Parts shortages led to long waits for certified technicians. Some customers spent months hand-washing dishes while the company scrambled to ramp up supply chains. And if your model wasn't on the recall list but showed the same symptoms, you were on your own for diagnostic fees, often $600 or more just to get a tech through the door. Industry experts called the recall a rare stumble for Bosch, a brand usually praised for reliability. But the lesson stings. Even the most trusted names can slip when electronics are mass-produced and corners are cut. The repair community points to proprietary parts and software locks that make independent fixes nearly impossible, driving up both downtime and cost. Bottom line, Bosch delivers when it works, but a single defect can turn that luxury badge into a financial headache. Price doesn't buy immunity from safety scares, and when the bill lands, it's anything but premium. Number 5. KitchenAid. Premium prices, middling performance. The badge screams gourmet. The price tag feels like a splurge, and every ad promises you're stepping up to pro-level reliability. But for thousands of owners in 2025, reality hits hard. And usually by way of a blinking error code on a $3,000 fridge, or a dishwasher that sounds like it's chewing gravel. Here's what the brochures won't tell you. KitchenAid's latest refrigerators and dishwashers have become regulars on service call logs, especially for thermostat failures and burned-out motors. It's not just a few unlucky buyers. Better Business Bureau complaints about KitchenAid doubled between 2022 and 2024. The pattern? Machines run hot, then cold, then not at all. When the fridge dies, so does a week's worth of groceries. One owner summed it up: "I spent more on spoiled food than the extended warranty. That's after paying $400 just for a diagnostic visit." The sticker shock doesn't end at the checkout. If your KitchenAid appliance fails, be ready for a second round of spending. Diagnostic fees alone can hit $400 before a single part is replaced. And that's if you can get a tech out within a week. Urban areas fare better, but rural owners often wait longer, watching their food go bad while service windows slip by. Even then, repairs aren't a sure thing. Repair pros say the motors in recent KitchenAid dishwashers burn out at rates far above industry average, with parts sometimes back-ordered for weeks. Owners report paying out of pocket for repeat visits because warranty coverage gets murky fast, especially for anything labeled as an electronic failure after year 1. All the lifestyle branding in the world can't fix the basics. A fridge that can't keep cool, a dishwasher that grinds to a halt, and a service network that feels more like a toll booth than a safety net. For foodies and home chefs who thought they were buying peace of mind, KitchenAid has become a cautionary tale about paying for image over substance. Bottom line, don't let the badge fool you. The real cost of KitchenAid isn't just the price on the tag. It's what you'll pay to keep it running, and the groceries you'll lose when it doesn't. Number 4. Electrolux. Luxury with a catch. Electrolux knows how to turn heads, sleek lines, European flair, and a reputation for washers and ovens that can outshine almost anything in the showroom. But here's where the shine fades fast: parts and service. When something breaks, and it will, it's rarely a simple fix. Electrolux leans hard on proprietary components, many of which aren't stocked in the US. That means even a basic sensor failure can trigger a 3-week wait while the part ships from Sweden. For owners, that's 3 weeks of cold dinners or laundry piling up, all while the repair bill keeps climbing. The numbers tell the story. Service logs from 2024 show Electrolux owners waiting an average of 14 days for a technician in urban areas, double that for rural zip codes. And once the tech finally arrives, the sticker shock can be brutal. A single control board or custom door latch can run $400 or more, not including labor. One owner summed up the experience. Looked amazing in the showroom, but $900 in repair bills the first year. The part came from overseas, so I spent a month hand-washing dishes. It's not just about the money, it's the uncertainty. Electrolux's warranty sounds good on paper, but electronics and labor are often excluded after year 1. Service providers get reimbursed below local labor rates, so they're in no rush to prioritize your call. And if you're outside a major city, finding an authorized repair shop can feel like searching for buried treasure. Many owners end up paying out of pocket just to get an answer, let alone a fix. The bottom line: Electrolux delivers on style and performance, until something breaks. Then you're stuck in the parts pipeline, watching costs add up and wondering when your kitchen will work again. If you're drawn to designer looks, plan your budget for repairs and patience for the wait. Sometimes luxury comes with a hidden price tag. Number 3. Maytag, the reliable rebel. At least that's what the commercials want you to believe. For decades, Maytag was the name old-school technicians swore by. They'd point to the classic top loader or the indestructible dryer and say, "That's how you build an appliance." But in 2025, the story is a lot less reassuring. Recent owner surveys and service logs tell a different tale. Maytag's reliability has slipped, especially for washers and refrigerators. It's not a subtle dip either. Service call data from Miele Appliance shows a clear pattern. Breakdown spike just after the 1-year mark, right when the warranty runs out. Some repair shops have stopped carrying certain Maytag models altogether, citing too many callbacks and frustrated customers stuck with big repair bills. The most common complaints? Control boards that fail without warning, compressors that give up in the 2nd year, and door seals that leak water onto kitchen floors. Consumer Reports notes a downward trend in Maytag's predicted reliability since 2022. And while you won't find a precise 40% spike in the data, owner stories stack up fast. One family had 5 service calls in 18 months for a washer that was supposed to be worry-free. The Maytag man myth? These days, you might need him on speed dial. Bottom line, if you're hunting for the bulletproof Maytag of years past, check the serial number and stick to proven models. For anything built in the last few years, be ready for a warranty cliff. What looks dependable in the showroom can turn into a repair marathon the moment coverage ends. Number 2. Speed Queen, the tank you didn't know you needed. While other brands chase Wi-Fi connections and touchscreen panels, Speed Queen sticks to basics: heavy-gauge steel, mechanical timers, and the kind of knobs you can actually grip with greasy hands. At their Wisconsin factory, every washer faces the same ritual: the drop shock test. Engineers load a machine with towels, crank it to full spin, then drop it from a height that would make most appliances fold like a lawn chair. If it survives, it's ready for a decade of laundry room abuse. If not, it's back to the drawing board. There's no secret sauce, just overbuilt parts and a refusal to complicate things. You won't find a touchscreen here, and you definitely won't need a software update. Owners call them boring, but only until they realize what that means. 7 years, no repairs, and a $3 knob swap if you're unlucky. Service techs love them because almost every part can be replaced with a screwdriver, not a laptop. Speed Queen doesn't show up in big box stores, and you'll never see a Super Bowl commercial. But ask any laundromat owner or repair pro and they'll give you the same advice. If you want a washer that shrugs off daily punishment, this is the one brand that lives up to the legend. Bottom line, Speed Queen is built for people who want their appliances to work. Year after year, load after load. Number 1. Miele. The gold standard of 2025. Miele's motto is Immer besser, forever better. And it's not just a slogan. Every washing machine, dishwasher, and oven rolling out of their Gütersloh, Germany facility faces a trial most brands wouldn't dare attempt. Each unit is run through a full assembly test, simulating 20 years of daily use before it ever leaves the factory floor. It's not a random sample. Every single machine gets the treatment. Quality control specialists monitor everything, from water seals to circuit boards, looking for any sign of weakness. If a part fails, it's redesigned, not patched. That's why Miele backs their appliances with a 15-year spare parts promise, even for models that have been discontinued. Global parts support means you can still get a replacement motor for a 10-year-old washer, no matter where you live. Owners report 5, even 10 years of flawless operation. No error codes, no surprise breakdowns, just quiet performance. The upfront price is steep, but the math changes when you realize you may never need a service call. Bottom line, if you want an appliance that's built to outlast trends, outlast repairs, and maybe even outlast your next kitchen remodel, Miele is in a league of its own. In 2024, Consumer Reports found that 1 in 3 major household appliances has required a service call within the first 3 years, a number echoed throughout this investigation. The evidence shows a clear pattern. Cost-cutting decisions, like Frigidaire's 2019 compressor switch and Amana's downgraded electronics, directly led to reliability crashes and a 38% spike in service complaints. Not even premium brands were immune. Bosch's 2023 recall and Electrolux's 3-week repair waits proved that price does not guarantee performance. Yet, some questions remain, including the full details of ongoing warranty claim denials and unpublished manufacturer failure rates. Despite gaps in corporate transparency, the facts are clear. Brands that invest in durability, such as Speed Queen's drop shock tests and Miele's 20-year simulations, deliver the longest service at the lowest long-term cost. In today's market, the difference between a bargain and a costly mistake is written in the warranty terms, recall filings, and repair data, not in the showroom shine.